And especially as a woman, not very happy with what I'm seeing in the United States and with what I'm expecting from an international perspective. Welcome back to my channel. It's Moon Cafe here, and today I want to talk about why I'm leaving the US. Now I am getting ready to leave the United States, and I wanted to shoot a video and to share a little bit more about how I feel at this point that I'm leaving, how I feel about the US, my experience here as a student and as an employee. I hope it'll be helpful. So some background information. For those of you who don't know me, I was born and raised in China. I went to a middle school and high school in foreign language. So I studied English there, and I had the experience to study abroad for summer programs. And I studied in an American high school. There was a Harvard Youth Summit in Shanghai. I attended that one. I also visited Harvard. I slept in one of their dorms with the host, a Harvard undergraduate student who hosted us there. So all in one, it became apparent to me that I wanted to study abroad in the US. So during my high school years, I was preparing for TOEFL and SAT, applied for American universities during the application season, just like American kids do. Even though my high school is a foreign language high school, it was never forced upon us that we need to study abroad. A lot of my friends became very good students in the Chinese education system, and they went to Chinese universities. Some of them went on to have graduate degrees in other countries. Because the Chinese system and the US system is so different, I would make another video about this. There's definitely value to study in the US as an undergraduate. My master's degree in the US as well. So in total, I've been in the US for 7 years, and that doesn't count the year where I was studying on Zoom virtually in China. That was the first year of my graduate program. I would say that to look back as a student, I think the United States provided me with a lot of perspectives, especially on social justice. I didn't know anything about what we should do for the society, what's happening for the minorities before I went into college and I studied psychology. And then I went to study counseling, which has a lot more emphasis on social justice and social welfare. And as I become a worker and an employee, it quickly became very obvious to me that there are just no Asians that I can see in my workplace. I don't see myself becoming a leader. It is just the feeling that even though I work in the diversity and inclusion, I still feel that I am a foreigner. The other thing is visa. So I am still on a student visa right now, and if I would want to get a job, I need to have a sponsorship for a work visa long term. That means that my employer would need to spend more money to hire a lawyer and to go through the application process for a work visa. And that is just a work visa. That is nothing like a green card. So it is very difficult to find a job outside of my student visa training time. Typically it's 1 to 3 years depending on the major that you study. For me, there isn't really an option to explore startup companies or do something that is completely different from my major of study, because that is legally required for my employment authorization. I wanted to say I don't feel that the United States is welcoming to people who have skills and to people who want to stay and work in the country. Now, it was never expected upon me from my family to stay in the United States just because I can or I have the opportunity to. There's a lot of talk and debate on whether Chinese international students should go back to China to find employment, but now China's economy is going down. There's a lot more nuances in terms of like where you work, what exactly you're looking for in your job, because the employment environment is very different in terms of the US and in China. I cannot say for South Korea as of now, but stay tuned. I'm not going to talk about politics on this channel, but I was an undergraduate freshman during 2016 election, and during my time in the United States, I've seen changes happening, and I don't know if it will be a good option for me to stay in the United States because of the changes that I'm seeing that's happening around me. Especially as a woman, I'm seeing a lot of debates on women's rights and reproductive justice. Overall, I'm not very happy with what I'm seeing in the United States and with what I'm expecting from an international perspective. That is what's happening in the background. And for me, of course, personally, the reason that I'm moving is because I'm getting married. I would say that to look back as a student, I think that shaped my personality and my identity as a person who supports what's right for human beings and try not to be judgmental. And that's a whole different kind of topic. We can talk about that more in a different video. But the biggest legacy that I got from my education in the United States is that I value myself as a citizen of the world. And whenever I go, I have the system of knowledge that comes from my education to guide me to make the right choices, not only for myself, but for people around me and for the bigger community. One of the reasons I wanted to start a trilingual channel is because I wanted to break down the language barriers. I know that a lot of people who use YouTube can't speak English in certain capacity, but I also wanted to make sure that they have the accessibility to content and to things that I wanted to share. Not only because I am multicultural and I'm practicing multiculturalism basically because I'm marrying into a different country, into a different person who's different from me, but also I believe that intercultural communication is how human beings develop and advance knowledge. So that is it for my rambling of the day. I don't know if it made any sense to you, but comment down below if you feel the same way or if you have any comments and what you want to see next. Bye, see you next time. Thank you for watching.